Hello everyone, and welcome to the Set 10 Departed review and deck list video. This one I don't plan on being very long because there's only been a few new cards, and if you want a review of any other relevant cards, you can just check the Set 9 Departed video where I go into much more detail into, the general list of cards. But I don't want to rehash the same thing every single set of old cards. So, at least for this review, I'm just going to kind of do the handful of new cards. And if you want to just kind of see an example deck list near the end, just feel free to skip to the end. But this video, again, won't be very long. So, it's kind of up to you if you want to stay for the whole thing or not. So the first new card is Ghost Maid and her Evo. She's a 2-cost 2/2 that on Fanfare you summon a ghost token and you can pay 1 Evo point to evolve her. And on evolve you get a ghost token into the EX area and then you bury the top card of your deck. I like her for a little bit of early game control. The 1 mil is nice, but I like the little bit of early game rush. The ghost can help if you're trying to deal with a potential 4 defense follower. The ghost maid can run into it and the ghost token if you feel like it. And I suppose if you have another play point, you could potentially take out a 5-cost. That seems to be a little bit more of a stretch because I kind of have an idea of what to do with the ghost token that's in the EX area, but we'll get there. But it's a nice card because obviously it's departed, but it's also a 2-cost card, so it fits in well with being able to be res back with Ektar, and you do get a free ghost token along, with the Ghost Maid. So, one little bit of chip damage, better than nothing, And the last card is Deathbringer. He's an 8-cost 7/7 Arcana departed that on Fanfare you select an enemy follower on the field, destroy it, and deal 2 damage to its leader and give yourself 2 life. And then you can evolve him for 1, and on evolve he has the same thing of destroy an enemy follower on the field, deal 2 damage to its leader, and heal 2. Deathbringer is more of a card that I'm kind of iffy on. I'm kind of leaning more towards not running him in Ektar. The biggest issue is with Death Breath, he works great. He's an 8-cost or less, so he can res back, and him having potentially 8/8 with Ward is nice, with being able to burn 2 twice and heal 2 twice. But the problem is the other great card that's used in Departed, Tartarus the Tormentor. He's not a great card to resurrect back Deathbringer, mainly because you already have to pay the Evo with Tartarus to bring back Deathbringer, so then you can't evolve Deathbringer. But I can see him as kind of an alternative, just kind of late game, big follower option other than Ektar, in case the games get really grindy and you kind of run out of Ektar summons and everything, which usually probably won't happen too often, but, it's just kind of a worst case scenario. So I'm kind of still leaning on not having him in the deck, but in the deck list I'll show in just a second, he'll still be in there, at least for the sake of argument. But, obviously ultimately up to you if you really want to run him or not. So here's the deck list. If you want to look at it, I have it. I'll have a link of it in the description that you can click on to take a look at. But it's basically 3 Poltergeists, 3 Soul Conversions, 3 Forbidden Arts, 3 Mischievous Zombies, 3 Sparkly Sergeants, 3 Undying Resentments, 3 Ghost Maid, 3 Chris Pumpkinhead, a lot of 3-0s, 3 Nicola Forbidden Strength, 2 Bone Chimera, 3 Death's Breath, 3 Demon Lord Ektar, 2 Deathbringer, and 3 Tartarus the Tormentor, with the Evo deck being an even split of just like 2 across the board. I generally speaking like pretty much all the cards, maybe other than Deathbringer and Mischievous Zombie. I really only have Mischievous Zombie in there because my hand felt like it did get a little cloggy with Ektars and Deathbringers. So if you're probably not running Deathbringer, you probably don't need Mischievous Zombie. With Ektar only being like the big top end, I don't think it's the end of the world if you have 1 stuck in your hand. But if you do not want to run Deathbringer, and then therefore you don't need to run Mischievous Zombie, you could probably throw Arcus back in. And then with the Ghost Maid and Tartarus the Tormentors, probably bumping those up to 3, or maybe even Chris, because you can evolve Chris multiple times potentially with Ektar if you resurrect him a few times. So there's a little bit of like number swapping, but I figured at least you can kind of start from here, and it's like if you run Deathbringer, cool, here's an option. If not, you could probably take out the Deathbringer and Mischievous Zombie, probably bump up Bone Chimera to 3, run a couple Arcuses, maybe 3 Arcuses. Also, one strategy I didn't really consider until I got around to kind of doing some test hands and some test gameplay is the ability for the ghost that is in the EX area that you get from the Ghost Maid, of it getting potentially +1/+1 or +3/+3 from Demon Lord Ektar. So let's say, just for the sake of simplicity, you're at Necrocharge 20 by turn 7. You could pay the 1 to bring the ghost up from the EX area, and then you pay, let's say, Death's Breath to bring back Demon Lord Ektar. Ektar sees you're at Necrocharge, bring back 2 followers. Ektar sees you're at Necrocharge 20, and it gives +3/+3 to all the followers. So the ghost really becomes a 4/4 with Storm. So, pretty nice buff there. And even if you bring back another maid, granted that ghost that the maid summons back, it will only be a 1/1 with Storm, but still, 5 Storm damage is pretty nice. Along with, still having, Ektar and other followers on the board to potentially clear wards if, you need the ghost to kind of hit face. But yeah, just a kind of a nice little wombo combo I thought of. It's nothing super crazy, but without Ghost Maid, there really wasn't like a easy guarantee Storm unless you do like Lesser Mummy, which Lesser Mummy kind of feels like it's kind of gotten power crept. But yeah, it's just a nice little thing I realized as I was like testing hands. And there you have it, guys. That was just kind of like the mini review of the departed cards from set 10. If you have any other questions or anything, just feel free to leave a comment and I'll try to get to it as soon as possible. But thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the content. And thanks. Bye.